The Gold Coast is one of Australia's top holiday destinations, but in recent times it's attracted the unenviable tag of being the state's crime capital, and unemployment's above the state average. Now, local authorities want to change that by securing a different top place as Australia's #1 fly-in, fly-out destination for mining companies. But as Lynn Keep reports, regional mayors want the resource dollar spread around.
Sun, surf and city has been a winning formula for the Gold Coast, fuelling a healthy tourist industry. But the global financial crisis and rising Aussie dollar have taken a toll, and unemployment is now at around 7%. The Gold Coast City Council is determined to turn the tide and has decided if the jobs aren't there for workers, it will export its workers to the jobs. The city's been exploring the possibility of setting up an exclusive airport terminal to tap into the booming mining industry. This week, 23 companies indicated they also wanted in.
It was a surprise. I didn't think there were 23 mining companies operating out there.
Mayor Ron Clark says the Gold Coast is ideally placed to meet the needs of the resource industry and provide the state base for fly-in, fly-out mining workers.
It seems to be a win-win situation. The mining towns really can't provide those resources that we can for families, and yet they're so close to us it's almost a commute distance if you use planes, and we've got an airport willing and able and keen to do so.
Win-win for the Gold Coast may be, but other regional councils aren't willing to pull out of the race for resource and mining dollars.
Look, I think this is probably a good opportunity for the Gold Coast to pursue. But what we need to recognise is that this region, the Rockhampton region, is already a home to many mining families. It's a support base for many mining service industries. And I think we have to ensure that wherever possible, there are sustainable employment opportunities created in this region for those who wish to work in the mining industries of central Queensland.
And Rockhampton is not on its own. A number of rural communities are hoping mining companies do more to make their towns more appealing, so that workers settle permanently in their area.
We're all struggling to attract and retrain workers across all sectors, not just the resources sector. It happens in local government, small business, the rural sector. Everyone's got the same problems. But, you know, I think we all need to work to try and improve our communities, improve the facilities so we can attract workers and people to stay in our communities.
LARA Wilde runs a business that specialises in everything rural. Her office is wherever her desire for a coffee overrides the need to keep driving. She says it's obvious mining companies are trying to entice workers to mining towns.
The thing I've noticed is that a lot of the community engagement from the mining companies, they seem to be making a lot more effort to contribute to their community and to really have a positive impact and have a positive relationship with their town. So they're investing a lot more in school programs, in the roads around the community, in theatres, in entertainment, sporting grounds, that sort of thing.
That investment aside, LARA Wilde says fly-in, fly-out is here to stay, and communities should be trying to develop it to its full potential.
What seems to be happening at the moment is that people are saying fly in, fly out, we don't want it, it's destroying small rural communities. And that's true, a lot of communities are suffering because of the fly in, fly out culture. But if someone could actually take it on and say, right, well, this is how it's going to be, and we're not going to get rid of the fly in, fly out culture, what can we do to work with it and take advantage of it?
And just like his counterpart on the Gold Coast, Toowoomba Mayor Peter Taylor has embraced the fly-in, fly-out concept.
We believe certainly Toowoomba and this region can provide really well for lifestyle and people to be located here, to actually have their families positioned in Toowoomba or one of the towns or areas around here. We have great diversity of opportunity. So certainly, you know, I don't see a disadvantage in fly-in, fly-out when the families and the people actually live here and yet their husbands or wives work somewhere else.
It's one of the reasons the Toowoomba Airport has recently received an upgrade, and with the recent announcement that Australia's second largest regional city will be one of the first in Queensland to have the national broadband network rolled out, Toowoomba is fighting hard for a piece of the fly-in, fly-out pie.
We see Toowoomba to be a real lifestyle family city, a place where families are really valued and their presence is valued, and we can look after them, and their partners can feel very safe and secure while they're away working at some distant location, whether it be in Australia or whether it even be overseas.
It's more about that sense of community, about the peace of mind of knowing if you're away for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, is your family safe? Are they happy? Are they accessing great schools? Have they got good quality affordable housing? Those are the services that really people are looking for.
We have to make sure that we take the pressure off the southeast corner of Queensland. It's overcrowded. This place offers great education, affordable living, safe communities, and we are centrally located to service the resource industries of both the liquid natural gas industries and the expansion of the coal industries.
Communities themselves are not alone in trying to tap into the resources boom. Businesses too are gambling on the ever-increasing popularity of the fly-in, fly-out marketplace. Skytrans is a regional airline that has flown mine workers all over Australia for the past 25 years.
The fly-in contract work represents about 50% of our business. We've had significant growth over the last 12 months, and over the next 9 months we've got about a 25% increase in our fleet. That is primarily to serve the fly-in, fly-out work in Queensland.
Based in Cairns but operating all over Queensland and out of Western Australia, Simon Wilde says it's a simple case of supply and demand.
10 years ago, the fly-in, fly-out wasn't as predominant in, say, some of the mining sectors. It is now, as there's a great demand for that labour. For Cairns, high unemployment, a lot of focus moving away from tourism. A lot of the mining companies are finding problems getting labour out of their normal markets, such as Brisbane, Townsville, Mackay, and in turn to places such as Cairns and other regional Queensland destinations for their labour.
Regional authorities are calling for the state government to ensure the resource spoils are spread around.
The Queensland government really needs to step up to the place and make sure that they have their policies working and that they are committed to regionalisation and sustainable jobs in regional Queensland. The last thing we want is that because there is a short-term labour skill shortage and skill shortage, that we take the easy option and fly people in from southern Australia and in this case the Gold Coast.
Those 23 companies that expressed an interest in operating out of the Gold Coast Airport now have to meet with the Airport Corporation and the Council to establish a working schedule.
We now have to sort as to how they can combine with each other and get timetables working with the airlines that are available.
And according to Ron Clark, that means fly-in, fly-out boarding calls from the Gold Coast will be heard before the end of the year.
And the Premier has called a summit for next week so mining companies and mayors can talk about the opportunities.